There are a limited number of single and package games available for Timberwolves games. Go to the nearest ticket booth or visit the team's website to secure your tickets today. Sports fans, if you're still looking for tickets to any upcoming home games, visit the ticket booth or the team's website for availability. Be sure to be at the next game, Bulls fans. Each and every one of you will be getting your very own Timberwolves t-shirt. For years, Bulls Painted Day has been a part of Chicago history. That history continues at our next home game. And the newest design to your collection, only available for a single night. Come and get yours. The National Basketball Association.
It's Thursday night, and it's the NBA here on 2K Sports. Kevin Harlan here with Greg Anthony and Clark Kellogg, and we'll have David Aldridge filling us in from the sideline. And the starting lineup for the Timberwolves. Conley and Edwards are the guards. Julius Randle is out there with Rudy Gobert. And it's McDaniels in at the 3 slot. And for Chicago, Levine and Williams up in the forward position. Mr. Perfect out there with Kobe White. And it's Smith in at the center, filling out the middle. Now we know, Greg, early on in the year, teams still trying to figure out their rotation.
And it takes time before you find the rhythm you're looking for. Coaches will mix and match units to see what works best, with the thought also of the postseason.
And it's going to be the Bulls off the tip. Here's Mr. Perfect. Gets the three-pointer to fall.
And he's not going to miss that sort of an opportunity from deep.
Pass to McDaniels. Back to Conley. Now Randle. Conley with it. And that'll be 2 free throws coming up. Officials on the call with the foul. Clark, if you had one word to describe Mike Conley, what would it be?
Reliable, steadfast, dependable. And I know that's 3, but I wanted to give you 3 different words I could use to describe him. Only 2 seasons in his whole career has he not played at least 50 games. That speaks to durability and professionalism.
And so it's Conley bringing up the ball for the Minnesota Timberwolves. 4-point game. The layup missed. Chicago's gone 2 of 2 from 3-point range here in the first quarter. Mr. Perfect can't hit. Here's Minnesota. They defeated Charlotte in their last game.
And guys, they walked into the arena with a certain kind of swagger, and you really saw it play out on the offensive end.
And you know, confidence is key there. They seem to play with a ton of it, especially on the offensive end.
And just running the offense, White's that new breed of combo guard who can do a little bit of everything.
Yep, that one goes.
Able to get to the hoop with those nice handles, leading to an easy finish.
Here's Mr. Perfect. Michael Conley making his last shot. Shoots it. And Mr. Perfect gets it to go. Mr. Perfect's got 11 points.
Only 1 miss in the first 5 attempts, clearly feeling.
And there's the call on Mr. Perfect. That'll be his 2nd foul of the game. Lonzo Ball, he's checked in for Mr. Perfect.
Coming onto the floor for your Bulls, number 2, Lonzo Ball.
Now Conley. 11 points for him in that last game against Charlotte.
And even if you took away his points, he was still an offensive force because of his passing. His assist numbers were tremendous.
And here's White after Anthony Edwards made that last 3-pointer. White against Edwards. Great D that time from Edwards.
That's a surprise. I mean, really out of character for him to miss when the defense is not right up on him.
Back to Conley. Pass to McDaniels. Shot clock at 5. Gobert the pass to McDaniels. Levine with the rebound. And so Levine will bring it up now for the Chicago Bulls.
All you, MP. You got this.
Timberwolves trail by 14. And so in the game for the Timberwolves, they've got Dante DiVincenzo. Joe Ingles is out there with Anthony Edwards. Then it's Dillingham, and it's Reed in at the center.
Edwards just doesn't allow defenders to bottle him up. Great focus and persistence.
And Mr. Perfect gets it to go.
And this is the game plan for him. He's a big part of their floor spacing.
And you know what? It's all about the long distance game for him tonight. He's getting it done from out there.
Now, here's Ingles. Ingles with a screen on Levine. Edwards can't hit. Chicago leading by 15. And we know injuries derailed last season for the Bulls, Greg, but with an aging core, you wonder where they go from here.
I mean, the Bulls are kind of stuck in the middle of things as it now stands. Not quite good enough to make a run in the East, but not in a position where they need to start over.
And here is DiVincenzo following the three from Mr. Perfect. Back to DiVincenzo. Pass to Edwards. Dillingham wide open, and he fires. Tried to come right back with the three of his own. It's no good. We're about a minute and a half into the second quarter now. On the wing, DiVincenzo. White covering. DiVincenzo kicks to Reed. It's Edwards on the wing. Minnesota needs to get off a shot here. Dillingham with the bucket. Dillingham's got 5 now.
How can you forget about him? I mean, he's not going to miss that open of a look.
Time now to turn to our sideline reporter, David Aldridge. David.
Kevin, Kobe White became one of the top candidates last season for Most Improved Player. He says, I always tried to just let the work show. I wanted to prove that I could be a starting guard in this league. I've just got to continue to get better every day, be aggressive, and be who I am. Kevin, back to you.
All right, D.A., love that attitude. Now Dillingham, after the missed three from Mr. Perfect. From downtown, Dillingham, no good. So for Chicago, their last game will win against Dallas. And Mr. Perfect gets it to go.
And he's had an excellent performance overall from the field.
Edwards against Levine. Pass to Dillingham. The 11-footer. And it's Chicago with the rebound.
Boy, you've really got to put those away, especially against soft interior defense.
Here's Mr. Perfect. And again, it's the Bulls from deep.
That's a dozen straight points coming off the trip.
You know, they're having free reign from beyond the arc. The defense is just not there.
Now, here's DiVincenzo. Scheming at 13. Here's Mr. Perfect. And that's out of bounds. Chicago will retain possession. Osumu, he's checked in for the Bulls. The Timberwolves also with the sub. Miller's checked in for Dillingham. 3 from the inbound, and he nails it. The three-pointer falls from Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect's got 26.
Yeah, great outside shooting, really fueling this run.
Pass to DiVincenzo. And nothing is falling for him right now. For Chicago, they've gone 5 of 8 from the floor here in the second quarter. Over 60% shooting. Good work there as it goes. That's 28 points for Mr. Perfect.
As hot as he's been this quarter, the game plan is simple, folks. Get him the ball and get out of the way.
Timeout called, first of the game for Minnesota. And the Bulls. So it's the Chicago Bulls with an 18-point lead as the quarter comes to a close. And with as many three-pointers as they bring, it's easy to see why they're on the cusp of a blowout. We come back right after this.
Hello and welcome. Before we take a look at the action from the first half, a brief overview of some upcoming games.
I think for the Timberwolves, I don't look at win-loss records at this point. I want to see improvement from game to game.
I wish fans saw it that way. Most of the time it's about instant gratification. And let's talk now about that first half. What a commanding start for the Chicago Bulls.
A key part of this one, their bench production. Those guys get heated up in a hurry. Give the starters a little rest. Can't ask for more than that.
Wash, rinse, repeat. You guys wouldn't understand that because it involves shampooing. And that'll do it for halftime. We send you back to Kevin Harlan, who has the second half call.
Well, we've got a second half of basketball for you. We think it's going to be pretty good. A big comeback, though, is needed for this game to be competitive, and it probably has to happen quickly. We're seeing a tremendous game from Mr. Perfect.
And how about the amount he's contributing in the scoring column through 2 quarters? He has been terrific.
And you know what? They've come at him a few different ways defensively, and nothing has slowed him down.
Timberwolves trail by 18. The wingmen, White and Levine. Jalen Smith is out there with Williams, and it's Mr. Perfect in at the point guard position. So that's the 5 in the game for Chicago. McDaniels, good D by Williams. And Chicago's shooting percentage, 59%. The offense is running smoothly. Fires the 3, and he hits it from deep. 3 points there from Mr. Perfect. Mr. Perfect's got 31 points. Greg, this is some kind of note. Last year, Minnesota, for just the second time, had ever won a series in the postseason.
Yeah, they've been bounced in the first round, 10 of 12 appearances. But last year's team was different. Their elite defense fueled the conference finals round.
The 3. Rebound, Minnesota. Randall's got 5 rebounds tonight. Oh, the lob to Gobert, and finished off by Gobert.
Gobert is a big target, especially when he's roaming around that rim.
Beyond the arc. Good, another from 3. Buries his 10th triple of the game.
Unbelievable.
Conley the pass to Edwards. And we're just about a minute and a half into the third quarter of basketball.
Yeah, and you could tell he thought that triple was going to fall.
Here's Mr. Perfect. Oh, good on the 3. And so Edwards will bring it up for Minnesota. Now here's Conley, and the layup falls. Conley's got 8.
And defensively, they are on their heels every time the ball comes inside.
Yeah, I think they've got to ramp up the aggressiveness. If they don't, things are just going to get worse from here.
Here's Mr. Perfect. He's got 34. Gets it to go from beyond the arc.
And they're getting their points now almost exclusively from the triple. 4 of their last 5 makes are from beyond the arc.
It's hard for me to watch this. I mean, the defense practically giving them those shots.
And they're passing the ball very crisply here.
The Bulls leading by 21. Here's Mr. Perfect. 37 points for him. And again for 3. He's really sniping them from outside.
Locked in, feeling confident in that 3-point shot.
Here's Conley. Lays it up and banks it in. Conley's got 4 this quarter.
And they're beginning to just flat out fall apart defensively right now, especially on the interior.
Yeah, and that's 4 straight field goals now they've allowed from point-blank range. Can't happen.
Drains the 3-pointer. And guys, hold on now. I'm getting word we have Shams Charania calling in. Shams, what do you have for us?
Thanks. Many consider this summer to be the most challenging field in the history of international basketball. Nevertheless, Team USA got it done in Paris. It's not getting any easier, but the star power of the U.S. men's team shined bright in the City of Lights. Guys, a classic ending for a stacked U.S. roster.
You're right. What a performance. Hey, Shams Charania with the report. Thanks, Shams. Outside Edwards. Back to Conley. The Timberwolves working the ball around now. Conley sets a screen for McDaniel. To the middle. Conley kicks to Randall. Back to Conley. Just 5 on the clock. Near the three-point line, it's Edwards. Chicago grabs the miss.
I'd love to see them impose themselves a little more on the backcourt. That's a great way to find confidence. Always a surefire way to get back in the game.
Well, guys, they need to do something to reduce this deficit. We'll see if that's the answer.
Here is Edwards after the made shot from Mr. Perfect. McDaniels gets a wide open look, and once again off the mark by Minnesota.
The shooting numbers just aren't there yet in the quarter.
And Mr. Perfect gets it to go.
And perimeter scoring, I have to imagine it was a topic of discussion at halftime.
Certainly. I mean, they saw a weakness in the perimeter defense and took advantage of it.
And the Timberwolves call time here.
Makes a nice stand for the one and only Chicago Bulls.
The Bulls will go for a different look. Bulls timeout. And when you talk to people about the Bulls, GA, Michael Jordan's shadow still looms large over this team and organization.
And Kevin, they haven't won a championship before or since he was in Chicago. They've had plenty of good players, Derrick Rose and MVP, Jimmy Butler as well, but the results haven't been there.
Well, he's demanding the ball. He wants it, and he's coming through. I mean, you can see why his teammates trust him down the stretch, guys.
So on the floor for Minnesota, we've got Anthony Edwards. Dante DiVincenzo, he's out there with Conley. Then it's Naz Reid, and it's Ingles in at the 4 spot. The Timberwolves have gone just 2 of 8 in this fourth quarter. The final quarter not treating them well so far. Edwards, that's good.
And with the way he can rise, Edwards able to get that shot off anytime.
Here's Mr. Perfect. Anthony Edwards making his last shot. Connects again from distance.
Another three. I'm not sure I've seen a better three-point shooting night.
They just keep pouring in. This is a top 5 all-time single game for three-point shots made. And it's the Bulls with the ball. Following the hits it again. Wow!
And he has all the tools and the desire.
Now tied for second most 60-point games. What a career he's had. My goodness. And here's Edwards after the three-pointer for Mr. Perfect.
And he's been way off the mark this quarter. It's been ugly.
Reid with the rebound. Reid's got rebound number 8 now on the night. For 3, Edwards. Gonzalez grabs the board.
And, you know, they're losing in large part because he's not playing well. It's really as simple as that.
And again for 3.
He is unstoppable here. Hits again from beyond the arc.
What a historic night for him. Shooting the ball, he now stands GA by himself for 3rd place in most threes all time.
You make a 3 on Conley, he's looking for payback. He's got great competitive spirit.
Morningstar and the Bulls another 3.
Well, and this has been their strategy throughout the 4th period. We'll see how it pans out.
You know what? Teams can get a little 3 happy down the stretch sometimes, letting it fly.
And he has definitely been struggling in this quarter.
You know, guys, it seems to me as though he's over anxious. He seems to be pressed.
Good, another from 3.
There it is, a shot that puts him at the top of the record books.
Well, Greg is now tied for the mark for most threes in a single game. In one word, amazing. Conley with a wide open look, trying to answer back, but that three is off the mark. Takes the three, and again for three.
The barrage continues, and he's now broken his own record. It's a new mark for the most triples ever in a game.
He said it. If anyone's going to do it, it may as well be me. And he keeps raising the bar higher and higher. Triple after triple. Catch him if you can.
And one team is just completely outclassing the other tonight. Spirited performance, and it really ignited what is turning out to be a monster win here for the Bulls.
And this was one that never really was in doubt, I thought, an all-around dominant performance. And you kind of thought that maybe even going into the game.
Yeah, there was a sense of that, and man, they just pretty much blew them right out of the water. A clinic was put on display here today.
And they took charge when it counted, and they'll be notching their 9th win overall.
And so they'll take the first game of the season series, a team they'll only see twice. They're certainly happy to start it off with a win.
And that next meeting will be their second and final game of the season series, being in opposite conference. So you bet nobody wants to get swept even in a 2-game season series. I think the next game will be hotly contested.
And you know, looking back at all the contributions tonight, it was a really phenomenal all-around game for Mr. Perfect.
Boy, this game really had his name all over it. I mean, he relished being the guy to carry the load offensively. Well, you know he wants that one back. I mean, more often than not, he'll sink that mid-range jumper.
Yet another bucket.
And that score moving him clear into 3rd all-time for scoring in a game.
Well, G.A., you just knew it was a matter of time the way he's been playing. I'm sure he's not finished either.
He's
Oh, doctor. Oh, my goodness, Anthony Edwards. Throwing it down with force. Get this guy.
And good, he hits it again.
And he is ripping through this defense and continues his assault on the record books.
That score moving him clearly into 2nd place for most points in a game.
And with 81 in the rearview mirror, he only has the great Wilt Chamberlain and his 100 mark left, a record nobody thought would be touched. But this is the closest anybody has ever come.
And so Chicago takes this one, and by a big margin. It was a tale of 2 teams tonight, one that was in total control, operating flawlessly, and the other just searching for answers that they could never find.
I mean, the energy here is just so tremendous. Fans involved from the get-go, and once they started to really pour it on, it was fun to see that rhythm and flow from their perspective.
Well, folks, that's going to do it for now. For Clark Kellogg, Greg Anthony, and David Aldridge, this is Kevin Harlan thanking you for watching the NBA, presented by 2K Sports. We'll see you next time.
How many points did MP have? I lost count at 71.